Hello and good morning. My name is Kate Merrind. I'm a program manager here at the Department of Small and Local Business Development in Washington, D.C. for our Innovation and Equitable Development Division. Today, we are incredibly excited to have Connie Russell as part of our Aspire and Dream elective series. As you can see from the screen, Connie is going to walk through some information about taking quantum leaps as a leader. She has been in business here in the district for 10 years and is a certified business enterprise here in the district and has a lot of great things to share. I'm going to let her say more about her business and about her presentation. So I'm going to turn things right over. And thank you, Connie.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Connie Russell, and I am excited to be with you and join you today. I plan to present a brief presentation, but I think it will be a powerful presentation that will help you along your journey to entrepreneurship and just being the leader that you desire to be. Some of the things I will explore is just how to be a bold and transformative individual when it comes to making decisions. Because when you make those bold decisions in your life, it can lead to significant growth in your personal as well as your professional lives. So a little bit about myself. I am a CEO of CO Russell Group. We are a workforce development training company. We are in our 10th year of business, which we are excited about. I'm also a professional speaker and author. I'm originally from the beautiful town of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I relocated to the DC area in 1993, and I love it here. And I don't plan on moving back home, even though I love the beach. So, before I get started, I would like to ask if anyone would like to introduce themselves in the audience today, if you would like to share where you stand in your professional life, or if you're an entrepreneur, if you're aspiring to be an entrepreneur, or what have you. So I'll give you a few minutes if you would like to chime in and share that information.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, this is Sharon, Stringfellow, and I'm the creative designer for Stringfellow Crochet Designs. I crochet, and hold on, my grandson. That's why I was on mute. I be on mute most of the time.
That's okay.
Um, and I'm right like at the early start of my business. I've
Okay.
crocheted for years, and I've always considered it a hobby. But recently, within the last year, I've come to the decision that it can be more than a hobby.
Mm.
So my desire is to teach the art of crochet and to in the other.
I think your sound is going out a little bit, Sharon. Okay. Well, hopefully, Sharon, if you can hear me, we lost your sound, but I appreciate you sharing your information about your business. And I am confident that the information I'm going to share with you today will help you as far as helping to position you in the right path of moving forward with your organization. Feel free to chime in as I go through this topic that I felt definitely helped me in my journey as well. Um, the topic I want to share today is speaking on quantum leaps, making quantum leaps, and that can be a very scary, challenging, as well as rewarding. And one of the first areas that came to mind when we speak about quantum leaps is finding your way, on your way. Um, that right there is a mouthful because I was just sharing with some entrepreneurs yesterday about when I got started with my business. Like I said, I am 10 years in. However, I'm still finding my way with my business. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the world. Things change so much that you have to be readily available to change and as we used to say, pivot. Um, Along with how things change within the world, whether the economy, your personal life, and your professional life. Many leaders find their way by developing a strong understanding of your vision. So it's very important to know where you want to go. You want to definitely actively listen to diverse perspectives. I have what I call a tribe in my life, and my tribe is very diverse. I consider them to be very wise individuals, and they help me to make decisions when I seek guidance from them. And I'm always learning. I know I have a training company, but in addition to that, I've always been a learner. I feel as though it's very important to continuously learn within not just within your industry, but the industries that affect what you do. But most importantly, when you are trying to find your way on your way, it's important that you always also show the way as a leader. And that's showing with your integrity, sharing your shared goal, and then just essentially knowing that the path that you are taking and you're guiding others along that way. So, what is a quantum leap? Okay. When we talk about quantum leaps, we mention something that's just major. It's not like a skip, it is not a hop. Quantum leap is referring to a significant, and I do mean significant transformation in the decisions that you make. As you can see on the slide, it reads significant transformative decisions that dramatically change our direction or elevate your success. So think about different decisions that you've made in your life, even today or yesterday, and try to ask yourself, um, was that a quantum leap or was it just a leap? When you make quantum leaps, your life changes. It changes the way you think. It changes the way, sometimes it even changes your belief because you're going on faith. And that relates to your personal life as well as your professional life. Anywhere that in your life where you feel you're at the crossroads, and as the saying goes, you're tired of being tired. And I don't know if anyone here is tired of being tired in certain circumstances. It's time for a quantum leap. As my one of my business associates is known for saying, just do the daggone thing. Okay. And sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith and pray, have faith, and just believe in yourself that things will work out. There is a science to making quantum leaps in your decision making. Um, I've tried all of these and they work, but to me, the science is timing. Timing is everything. Excuse me. Decision making is both an art and a science. At least that's what I believe. Because on one hand, it involves the logic and then you have the analysis. But then on the other hand, it requires intuition, courage, your faith, and just your gutsiness for just making things happen. Quantum leaps will occur when we make decisions that go beyond your ordinary, but beyond what you're used to, your comfort zone. It's pushing you out of your comfort zone into new territories. And that can be scary. And that's why it's so important to have a real effective tribe in your life, those individuals who push you when you're having those days where you just don't feel like moving forward. Excuse me. Um, I'm sorry, I thought someone was saying something. In addition to that, when you understand your decision-making process, people who make decisions on a daily basis, and we'll speak about leaders because that's what we are. We are leading, we're leading an organization, we're leading a company, we're leading our lives. It can be very challenging because in some places you may feel as though you do not have all the resources that it takes to make these decisions. Let's look at a few examples about quantum leaps. Think about entrepreneurs who pivoted their business into a completely new direction, or individuals who took significant risks to pursue a passion. Do you know any of these? You probably do. You're one of them, I'm sure, because you're on this call right now. But think about people who've done it. You know, things just did not happen. They just not appear. Someone had to make that decision and go out on faith and make a move. I think about myself, even from when I think about high school. In my senior year in high school, I became a mother. That was not my plan. That was not plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G in my life. But it happened. And I knew at that moment I had to make a quantum leap because my goal and my plan A was to graduate high school and go to New York to fashion school. Well, when I became a mom, all of that stopped. And I had my tribe at that time was my parents. My parents were very supportive of the things that we did in our lives. And their decision for me or suggestion was to go into the military. Now, you can only imagine the look on my face. I was like, oh, no, no, no. I am not military material. I don't like the uniforms. I can't wear my earrings. I was just speaking a lot of silly, vain things because I wasn't looking at the big picture. But after I took time to think about it and consider it, as well as the benefits that may have came out of the military, I took that quantum leap and I joined the military. That was a quantum leap for me because it changed my life drastically. Once I went into the military, I saw a new world. I experienced and I was exposed to things that I never thought of. And that changed the way I thought from that day forward. So I say to you, think about the decisions that you make. You know, are you making quantum leaps? And if you're not, one way to determine that is to know, did it change your life? Did it take you out of your comfort zone? And those are some ways that you will be able to understand and just know if you were making quantum leaps or not. In the process of taking quantum leaps, you're going to have challenges and what I call those discovery moments. You're going to discover a lot of new things about yourself. For example, when I went into the military, I did not know how to swim. And of all branches, I joined the Navy. Go figure. I was just told the Navy was the easiest branch. And that's what I was looking for at that moment, easy. Little did I discover it was not the easiest. I learned how to swim very quickly. And I also learned how to listen. If you've ever been in the military, you know that your voice is not always your own. And so you have to learn to manage your voice, more manage your talking. And that was a challenge for me because I am a talker. I want to know why we have to do certain things. And so that was one of my discovery moments of going through the military. I learned that sometimes you're just as powerful as saying nothing. Silence is power. There is power in silence. And I had to learn that the hard way, but I learned it. And so that was one of those discovery moments. So as you're thinking of taking quantum leaps as a leader, you're going to have challenges and you're going to have through those challenges, you're going to have those discovery moments where you're going to learn something about yourself as well as others. But don't let those challenges disrail you from continuing to move forward and making those quantum leaps because those quantum leaps are going to be the steps in that pathway to get you closer to success. So, oh, I am sorry. One moment. If I can pause here because, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So, as we talk about the transition years, when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, I guess I could say I was taking baby steps because I wanted to be safe. I wanted to look at things from a safe perspective. Excuse me. And in doing so, I consider myself crawling. I was literally crawling in my journey. And so I would like to go through just certain principles about making wise choices along your journey as we go through this. So, key principles. You may say, okay, how do I make wise choices that will lead to quantum leaps? First principle is be clear about your vision and your goals. If you don't know where you're going to stay lost and you're going to continue to go and move in circles. So make sure you know what your vision is as well as your goals. Now, these things will change. And they will change for many reasons. They could change because of the economy, they will change because of finances, they can change because of your personal situations. When I first started my training business, I had a vision and I had a goal. However, COVID happened a few years later, and I'm sure we all experienced COVID. Now, I did not have apprenticeship training in my vision at the time because I was focusing on other programs like leadership training, competency-based training, IT training. But when COVID happened, a lot of those opportunities and contracts that I had came to a halt. And so I had to literally pivot. And so an opportunity came about for apprenticeship training. And that's something I had to learn quickly and fast. I had to get resources. I had to hire new employees with this expertise, but that helped me to stay afloat. And to me, that was a quantum leap because that changed the trajectory of the competencies that my company actually offered. And to this day, we still offer apprenticeship training, and we're growing and expanding in that area. So sometimes, making wise choices are those that consider your both long-term as well as short-term impacts, and you align those with your core values. Knowing what your core values are is very important because it's going to require courage. So once you are clear about your vision and your goals, you want to be very clear. The second principle is you want to assess the risk, but don't be paralyzed by them. Many times people are ask us to do certain things, and your business will require you to jump out on a limb and take those quantum leaps. But if that risk is out of your norm or your comfort zone, you're going to be afraid and you're going to hold yourself back. But what I would say to you is assess the risk as best as possible and go for it. That's part of entrepreneurship. That's part of being a leader. You will always have risk. And the only thing you can do about it is just assess it. Just try to discover, like one thing that I always say to myself is, what is the worst thing that I think could happen? And if I can deal with that and I think I can get through it, I'm going for it. I'm jumping. Okay. So find some type of formula for you to help you determine what type of risk is worth taking. And lastly, you want to embrace a growth mindset. This means being open to change, learning from your failures, and continuously pushing your boundaries. You definitely want to make sure that your mindset is continuously expanding. And one way you can do that is, again, your tribe. Those individuals that you have in your inner circle that you go to for advice. One thing that I can definitely share from my own experience, I make sure I am not the smartest person in my inner circle. I used to consider myself the smartest person in my inner circle, but that's when I first got started because, sometimes we just think we know it all, right? Amongst our friends and our peers. But I very soon discovered that that was not a smart move for me because I stayed stagnant. I didn't grow because I'm the smartest person. So I soon discovered that I needed to surround myself around individuals that was wiser than me, had more experience than me, and that was different from me so that I could continuously grow my mindset and be open to other perspectives. I did not have to agree to these perspectives, but at least my mindset was open to hear, and maybe I could consider some of those perspectives in mind. And so I'll stop here to see if anyone has any questions or what to chime in. I'll wait a few seconds to see if anyone would like to chime in.
Just so that everyone knows, you should be able to come off of mute on your own. So feel free to just come off of mute and bring anything in.
Okay, great. Looks like we have any questions or chime in. I will continue. Hopefully this information is resonating with you all. Okay, so let's move forward with identifying opportunities for quantum leaps. So you may say, okay, I'm ready to take this leap. I think I'm a little nervous, but I still want to be able to be in a position where I can take quantum leaps. Well, how do I identify opportunities, right, for these quantum leaps? Well, one of the things that you want to do is look at your current situation, whether you're in a career, your personal life, your business. Are there any opportunities that you might be overlooking because they seem too risky or too challenging? To me, that's the biggest sign. When you, how can I say this? When you hold yourself back from doing certain things, you're limiting one, your success of who you could be and how you can impact the world. And I always speak large like that. One thing that I like to do in my spare time, I love National Geographic. Anyone who knows me knows I love to watch National Geographic. I think watching animals is just such the best way to learn. And I was always asked the question, if I could be any animal in the jungle, what would it be? And there's so many animals that I can resonate with, but the one that stands out the largest is the lion. And the reason why I say the lion is because I learned just through looking at National Geographic and just reading up on different animals. The lion is not the largest animal, it's not the fastest, it's not even the smartest, okay? But one thing I love about the lion is that the lion believe that they're the king of the jungle. They believe it, and everyone else are convinced as well. So just imagine if you put yourself in that situation and you step out believing that you are the king or the queen of your world. Just think of how many things you could accomplish. So it's that mindset. So as you're looking at your current situation, put yourself in that situation that you are capable of doing all these amazing things. So hopefully that helped and resonate with some of you all. The second one is unexpected places. Sometimes the biggest opportunities for growth comes from the most unexpected places. Example, before I moved to Maryland, I was working at a bank and I was not happy. I was not a happy camper. I wanted to leave. I would come up to the DMV area on the weekends and hang out, and I just loved the energy. The synergy here was just amazing. I saw so many people my age that were just doing amazing things in their career, and I was like, I want a piece of that. And so I took a week off vacation and I got in my little car and I drove up here and I said, if I can find a job in 1 week, then I am destined to be here. And of course, what did I do? I went to every bank because that's what we do, right? So we stay in our comfort zone. I knew I needed a job, and the quickest way to do that was to find something that I was already I had experience in. And so, long story short, I ended up getting a job that Friday, and that was all I needed. And so I share that because that uncomfortable place where I was back home, it became the biggest opportunity for me to step out and take that quantum leap and say, I'm just going to move. And it was literally, I had no planning whatsoever. I just did the daggone thing, okay? I just took a week off of my vacation and I was looking for a job and I did it and I never regretted it. So I share that to say, as you're thinking of how can I take a quantum leap? Some of you may be thinking, I'm not that type, I'm not bold, I'm not gutsy. Well, I'm here to tell you, you have some of that gutsiness in you. We all do. You just have to discover it. And sometimes it comes, like I just said, in those unexpected places. So you're taking the leap, that quantum leap, you're taking the jump, and then bam, you run into a wall. Well, welcome to real life. It happens. You're going to run into barriers. I do not want to sell you a dream that take this quantum leap and everything is going to be amazing. It's not. Okay. And I'm sure some of you all can relate. It's not. It's called life, and life happens. But what you can do as a leader and as you're empowering to take these quantum leaps, you want to make sure that you um have barriers, not barriers, I'm sorry, protective measures in place to help you overcome. So some of these are common barriers. Common barriers to making bold choices include fear. We don't want to fail, so we have the fear of failure. We're comfortable. We get comfort with the status quo. And then also we lack support. And as I shared with you all before, you have to have a support system. If you do not have a support system, it's going to be very challenging. You can't do this thing called life by yourself. You just can't. And so it's very important to find that support system that will help you persevere. How do you do that? Build resilience. Okay. How do I build resilience? I am a video queen. I love looking at motivational videos. I read a lot. Um, I come from a family where both parents were very resilient. So that was a plus for me. But not everyone comes from a household where they've seen people who just had so much resilience and just so much gutsiness, but they're trying to step out of that. And so I say to you, if you don't come from that background or that household, look at people in your life who resembles that, who resembles resilience, who resembles gutsiness, and ask them, have those conversations. What do you do to keep moving? You have to have something in your life that you want so bad, so bad. Like that is how you breathe. Like you can't breathe without doing it. And so until you find that, it's going to be very challenging. So I challenge you to try to discover something in your life that keeps you going, that makes you fight. Like when I was a senior in high school and I became a mom, that was unexpected. That child became that resilience. My son, he became my why. So what is your why? Is your why leaving a legacy for your family? Is your why your children? Is your why your health? It could be anything. Number three, seek that support system I shared with you before. Find that tribe, people who are smarter than you, people who are wiser than you, that will help you move along. And just as a reminder, quantum leaps, they're necessary for growth. You cannot grow without taking risk. And again, those quantum leaps are going to change your life. So think back on those activities that you've done in your past, those choices you made. And if it didn't change the way you think, the way you behave, the way you believe, it wasn't a quantum leap. Okay? Hopefully this is good stuff for you so far and that I'm not going too fast. Feel free to chime in if you have a question, if we're going the right direction. Okay, so now we're going to get to the nitty gritty. We're going to have a decision making exercise that I want you all to think about. And feel free to use the chat or just chime in. So what I would like to do is let's kind of apply what we discussed so far. What I want you to do is think about a decision or a challenge that you're currently facing. Okay? Everybody take a minute. Think about something that you're going through right now. Okay? Make sure it's something that could benefit from a quantum leap. Taking a quantum leap, okay? We're not talking about what outfit we need to buy, getting our hair done, paying a bill. Those are not quantum leaps. I want you to think about a tough decision that you need to make. Okay. This could be a career move. It could be a personal goal. It could be a project you're working on. The key is to this is that you want to make sure it's going to be significant enough that could have a major impact on you or your life. Okay. So now that you're thinking about this, I want you to reflect on it. What would a quantum leap look like in this situation? So you thought about the challenge that you're going through, the decision you need to make. Now I want you to imagine if you were to take a quantum leap in this situation, how could it change your life? How could it change the trajectory of where you are positioned right now? What bold choice could you make that would push you forward in a significant way? These are the things that you have to ask yourself, okay? These are those tough questions. And no one can answer them but you. I want you to consider your potential risk, the rewards, and whether this leap aligns with your long-term goals. And I'll share with you, when I was working for the government, um, 11 years ago, okay, um, I made the decision that I was going to jump out on faith and start my business. Why did I decide that? Of course, it was training. That's what I was doing. I've been doing training for over 30 years of my life. So I eat, sleep, I live it. That's just who I am. And so I said, well, you know what? Why not just go ahead and do it as a business? I'm good at it. People always come into my training classes, so I'll go out and do it. Well, so I consider myself strategically planning. And so I said, I'm going to plan 1 year. 1 year from today, I am leaving my good government job. Well, long story short, I ended up leaving in 8 months because I was too anxious. I just wanted to jump out there. I couldn't wait anymore. And so I did it. I remember like it was yesterday. It was in the month of May, and it was on a Friday, and it was at 3:55 that I sent an email to my director, and I dodged out of the office because I got off at 4 because I didn't want my director to read it and then call me in for a meeting. I just knew I had to do it. And sometimes you have to put yourself in a situation where you force yourself to do certain things. Now, I will share this with you. I did plan. I was supposed to plan for a year, but I only planned 8 months. But I saved up enough mortgage payments for a few months. And that's about all I did. Okay. But I figure, hey, if I still got my house, I'm good for a few months. Okay. If I have to go and work at a school or whatever, I'll do what I have to do, but I'm taking this quantum leap. And before I even sent that email, I was on YouTube. I was watching all these motivational speakers. You can do this. And I was like, yes. So I was hyping myself up. And that's what you need to do. Sometimes you need to talk to yourself. And I don't know if anyone does this, but I am not ashamed to share with you. Yes, Connie Russell's talk. I talk to myself because sometimes I am my only cheerleader. I do not have a friend to call. I don't have anyone who's calling me every day saying, wake up, you got this, you're doing this. No, it's me. And so I say it is going to be you. You have to talk to yourself. Yes, Sharon. Sharon said, I talk to myself too. Absolutely. You have to motivate yourself and say, you got this, girl. You got this, right? Um, and so I did it. And and 10 years later, here I am. Was it easy? No, ma'am. No, sir. It was not easy. But guess what? I don't regret it because what I do, I feel as though I'm giving back. I train individuals for skills to help them change their life. That is my mission of CO Russell Group. No matter what training we do, our mission is to change people's lives. And so every day, my team, when we go out and train, when I go out and train, when I'm speaking to you right now, I want to change your life. I want, when you get off of this call today, I want you to have a smile on your face and say, I feel motivated. I'm thinking differently. I feel more encouraged. I done my job. I have changed your life. And so as you move forward and you're thinking about your career, your journey of your entrepreneurship, what you want to do, make sure it's purposeful. Make sure you're doing it because you too want to change someone's life. I don't care if you're styling hair, if you're doing nails, if you're digging ditches, if you're building buildings, you're going to change someone's life. So you got to have that buy-in, like this is your why. Why do you do it? Okay. So hopefully this piece right here is helping you when you're making these decisions. Um, hopefully you've identified what quantum leaps you need to take today. Somebody on this call needs to do something today. I'm not telling you to leave your job. I'm not telling you to do all this stuff because I can't pay your mortgage, okay? But you need to make a decision, even if it's putting something on social media, letting the world know what you plan to do. Because guess what? Social media will hold you accountable. They will hit you up, tag you. hey, what are you doing about this business you said you're going to start? And so you do need accountability partner. I see there is a question. Feel free to chime in and ask a question. Someone hand is up.
Hello, this is Bailyn. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for your time, and this is very, very helpful. I just had about like two questions because
Sure.
what you're saying is very important, and I can relate to it because I had the stuck moments. But I wanted to know, from your experience, if you could just like give us an example of like when you faced a significant barrier, like what helped you, what made you keep going, and then when you reach that point, what kept you just there to keep going and to elevate, because everyone goes through something different, right? But as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur and opening your business, what did you do from your experience?
Sure. So, and thank you for that question. I will start by saying everyone goes through this. And never think you're doing this by yourself. Never think you're the only one who's going through this issue, this challenge, because sometimes we fall into that trap. And that's what one of the main things that holds us back because we believe we're the only ones, but we're not. I had to learn that. I had someone tell me that, someone who was in my tribe, one of those wise individuals. They shared that with me. But one of one of the many obstacles that I've challenged, like, I mean, I'm trying to think of one recently. Okay, I tell you what, COVID. Um, During COVID, I actually questioned myself why was do I need to stay in business? And I think during COVID, I probably was what 5 years out, 5 or 6 years out, and I questioned myself, and I was going through a serious um moment because I'm thinking I went from X amount of contracts to almost one contract. I had to lay off many of my trainers. So I was really working in my business. You know, as an entrepreneur or business owner, they always say work on your business, not in your business. Well, I'm here to tell you there's plenty of times where you're going to have to work in your business as well because life happens. And I really had that tough conversation with myself and I prayed about it and I talked to my wise counsels and I just thank God for my wise counsels because when I was even considering giving up, they all just laughed. And I was like, what are you doing laughing? This is a serious moment for me. And they said they laughed because they went through the same thing. And so they shared with me it was because of their circle that kept them moving. And so I say to you, you will continue to go through and you will have those moments where you're not motivated. You have to find what I did. I have songs that motivate me. I'm a spiritual person, so I pray a lot. I have amazing friends. I do not have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but I do not have a lot of friends. And that's one thing I had to learn. Everyone is not your friend. Everyone can't be your friend. You can't share everything with everyone. So I have a very small, close-knit tribe of individuals who I just counsel with, and they help keep me on the right track. And my faith, you know, because I believe that I'm here for a purpose. I just refuse to believe that I was born to do nothing. I just refuse to believe that someone created me to do nothing and to make this world all about me. And so you have to discover who you are. If you don't know who you are, what you believe in, what your values are, it will be so hard for you to be strong and make these quantum leaps. So I would say make sure you have that conversation with yourself. Know who you are, what you stand for, what you desire. And once you have that concrete belief within yourself, you'll be able to take on these decisions. You'll have that council group, that tribe, where you can help keep you on the right track. Continuously learn. Stay off social media all the time. Social media will derail you sometimes. It's not bad, but you can get caught up and you can stay focused on looking at everyone else who's doing what they want you to believe they're doing, and then you find out they're not really doing all that. And then you try to follow them and you get off track. So hopefully that helped a little bit. I hope I didn't go off to the left with you.
No, ma'am. That was perfect. I just wanted to know, like, from your experience, because you're an expert in this field. So it takes a lot to soak it in and just focus, because we're all going through something, and right now I'm like in a phase where I'm aligning my vision with action. So as I'm going through it, I'm trying to understand as I'm moving each step of the way. So thank you. Thank you very
There.
much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Okay. If not, I will move on. We're almost at the end here. Take your leap. Whew. All right. I am challenging all of you all to take your leap, because this morning you were bold enough to show up, and that speaks volumes. I actually spoke on that topic, on the importance of showing up. You could have done a million things this morning at 10 o'clock. Okay. I know that. You know that. But something in your gut told you to show up. And so because you showed up, hopefully you received something that's going to help change you. It's going to help change your trajectory. It's going to change the way you were thinking about yourself and what you're capable of doing. One thing I want you to know is that with quantum leaps, there's so much I want to share. um, you're gonna learn how to make wise decisions, right? From who you hang around, who's in your tribe, how you're gonna assess certain decisions. You're gonna look at scenarios, and then you're gonna be able to make those bold choices that's actually gonna propel you toward your goals. So remember, wise decisions often require stepping out of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable where you are, it's not a good thing. Never get comfortable. Okay? Never get comfortable. I work my best. I deliver my best work when I work under pressure. Do I like it? No. I hate it. It drives me crazy. But that's when I just blow up. I can be given a report, and the report is due at the end of the month. Do you know when I'm going to start on that report? Probably 2 or 3 days before it's due. I will try to start on it the following week. I will try to start on it 3 weeks out. Nothing comes out of this brain. Nothing. That's how my creative juices flow. I flow at the end, the very 12th hour. Okay. That's just my makeup. So it's important for you to know how you work. How do you process things? How do you deliver? And people used to say, Connie, you shouldn't operate like that. That's too last minute. It works for me. It's been working for the past 10 years. It's not going to work for everybody. Some people cannot wait to the last minute because their creative juices don't flow like that. So it's important for you to know who you are and what you're made out of. Okay. I want you to commit to taking action. I encourage all of you all to identify at least one quantum leap that you're going to commit to taking in the near future. I would say today. Don't wait till tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. It could be something small. It could be something large. It doesn't matter, but it should be significant enough that's going to make a real impact in your decision. Write it down, text yourself, make a quote, post that. Let people know that you are about your business. If you're on social media and you're just sharing stuff and just putting jokes and funny videos, that's how you're perceived. But if you are about your business, let the world know I'm about my business. Okay. Um, Let me see. One thing I would like to do, I put a quote up here, well, actually a saying, and I'm going to read it, but if you come off mic, you're welcome to read it with me, or you can read it to yourself. And let's see, take your leap. And so I'm going to start now. Today, this very moment, I want you all to say that. Today, this very moment, I will take leaps of faith by putting myself in demanding situations that require me to be substantially more than I currently am. In those situations, I will decide who I will need to be and then act as if I am already that person. As I adapt to these different environments, I know I will evolve into a new person with expanded consciousness, stretching my views of myself and my possibilities. There is no cap to my potential. My identity is fluid and I get to choose. So I am hoping that you all recited this either to yourself, you wrote it down, but this is something that I say to myself when I'm going through. You just need to be reminded who you are. I'm reminded of Nelson Mandela. He quoted a beautiful poem from Miriam Williamson, and it's like, who am I not to be beautiful? Who am I not to be fabulous? Serving small in this world is doing no one any good. So just remember that if you're playing small, who are you serving? You're doing nothing. They say the most wisdom is buried in the graveyards because so many people kept their wisdom and their knowledge to themselves. So don't be that individual. And so as far as my closing remarks, I want to say I thank you all for showing up. It was meant to be that you showed up today. If you have any questions, need guidance, feel free to reach out to me. I believe, yes, I have my information here as well. But I wish you all the best. And I don't know if there's time for any last Q&A or not, but I'll hang on.
Connie, thank you so much for this presentation, and I definitely do want to hold a little bit of space for those additional questions for folks who are on the line or comments and reactions. I'm definitely seeing some reactions in the chat, so we'll give it a moment if anyone wants to come off of mute.
Hello, this is Balin. I have one more question. Just one more. So at some point when people feel stuck or if they're trying to gain more business within their business and it's just not working, so they feel like there may be some resistance. This is a broad question. At what point can you, what advice can you give us when this quantum, this huge transformation, you have that resistance? What advice can you give us to like move forward to deal with that resistance?
So, and thank you for your question. I would say, first of all, assess your quantum leap. Make sure your quantum leap is relevant. Kind of like, when you're an employee and you have to do your annual review and they tell you to write your SMART goals. Make sure your quantum leap is assessed like that. Make sure it is relevant. Okay. Um, Make sure it's purpose driven. And once you take that quantum leap, you are gonna encounter some barriers. I would say, because like I share with you, I was ready to give up, so those things really happen. But as long as you assess it that is relevant and there is an opportunity, there's resources out there that does exist that can help you. You just need to get your hands on it. I would say keep moving forward, but definitely be strategic. Definitely be strategic because some quantum leaps have to be taken in different time frames. So let's say you decide to take a quantum leap today and you fall flat on your face. Okay. Maybe this wasn't the time to take that quantum leap. So now you can look at that quantum leap and dissect it. So you know what? Instead of going this far out, I'm going to break it down in bite-sized pieces that's manageable. Okay. Does that help? Because I do that quite a bit. I mean, I'm looking at my end. My mentor once told me that made so much sense after years being in business. He said, look at your end and start planning where you want to be at your end. Then you won't waste time with things that make no sense. If you know your end is to start a business, then every next step you do is going to be focused on getting my business license, because you're going to assess, what do I need to start a business? I got to get a business license. Do I need certifications? Do I need to connect with this organization? Everything is going to make sense because you're focused on getting your business started, because that's your end. Okay? Does that help?
Yes, ma'am. That helps. That just helps simplify the thoughts of an overthinker. But yes, thank you.
You are welcome. You're so very welcome. Were there any other questions or thoughts?
Yes, this is Sharon again. Can you all
Sharon?
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I like this presentation for
Thank you.
making the quantum leap. Um, Part of my quantum leap is buckling down and writing some patterns. So I need to get that going. You confirmed something to me that I've been putting on hold for a while. So
Nice.
that's part of my journey. So I
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much for sharing that. No, thank you. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. Thank you
And
so much for sharing that.
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, I think if we don't have any other questions, I want to say a really huge thank you to Connie Russell for sharing this presentation and sharing your experience and your expertise as a local DC business owner. One of the things that, for everyone who is on the line now, and if you may be watching this from the cohorts later, there are so many awesome business owners who are here in DC. You are part of that community, and I highly encourage you to be reaching out, both to be, sort of offering partnership and reaching out to be in a space where, you're learning and sharing with each other. Connie, thank you so much for this presentation today. I think it is that inspiration, but inspiration with a lot of technical details on how to actually move it forward, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed being here today, and I thank you all for sharing your insight and your feedback. And I just wish you all the best. You got this.
I'll close this out.
Thank you.